All right, welcome in everyone. Just a reminder, we are not registered financial advisors. This is for educational purposes only. That being said, per usual here, I did want to go over SPY. The highlighted candle is when we last spoke for the hangout. What you can see there is we rejected the top of the range. And I'd kind of mentioned, potential for a mean reversion. Saw exactly that. Retested the 21 MA. Now we're starting to slowly grind outside of that range, still within this bigger picture channel here. It has been incredibly slow. Like I had said to Mario a few minutes ago, if you have joined us late, if you thought today was tricky, tomorrow will be even more tricky with FOMC and the following day. So just something to keep in mind. As far as targets, I remain pretty bullish here. I'm looking at 427.8. These are just fib targets from this drawdown. So from May 7th into this low, May 12th, fib targets puts us at 427.8 and 434, still remaining within the channel. So some levels to watch as we continue to push higher. Now to the downside, you have the range high, that 423 area, and then of course the 21 MA, which has now started to push higher. It's no longer flat, so it's definitely a good sign. Pretty much all I've got here on SPY. Mario, I'll hand it off to you.
Yep. Okay. So welcome everyone. Let's start with, give me a second. Okay. So let's start with the cues. Pretty simple. The chart, yellow thing right here is the last time we met. So we talk about looking at these couple days, the 50 MA, which is always a reference for us right there, highlighted. Let me do something right here. Annotation, let me put my mouse right here because I need it, and then here we go. So this is pretty much it, right? We had the big move into last meeting. We had 1-2 days, which made it for a perfect entry. This was like we explained in the chat, the main room, traders hangout. There you go, 38% pullback, Fibonacci, you know where it goes. New highs, right? So we just made new highs. Now we go the other way around. We hit target 339, that's 168. So now we're looking for 346, around that area, 346, 347, which is the next fib that we've been talking about. That also help us with the fact that now we're talking, we're getting into 351, right? 351 will be like 2 ATRs, 3 ATRs. Let me double check. That's the 3 ATR. So that's the Bollinger Band. So once we start getting into 350, 351, I'll be very cautious, similar to the chart that Kyle just showed us.
I think
what's that?
Is 350 the fib from that larger pullback, like from the prior all-time high to your point of control? I think it is.
You mean if I go like here, like from here to here?
No. From that high, like late April into early May. Yeah, from up there down into the point of control.
That could be. Let me just double check. Yeah, but it's like 1%, right? So I don't pay that much attention into.
Right.
Into I know some of our guys they get scared when they see Q's down 3 points. It's just 1%. Yeah, but that's exactly what you pointed out. So if we go through with the bigger time frame, it's going to be 350. That's the 127, and 360 for the 161. So yeah, 349, 347, 349, 350. We start having problems. We still got like a good 1 to 2%. That's my call. Probably 1 to 2% up in the Qs, and then seasonality kicks in, right? So we off till probably July the 7th. I'm gonna be on vacation too, and then supposedly we'll see how it goes, and if economy continues like it is and everything, which you just consider with the bullish, which you all know we've been bullish So here's a quick question for whoever's right there and want to answer. Are you up for the month? Type a number one. If you're down for the month, type a number two. If you don't know, type a number three. Pretty fast. Because we are now on 15 days in the market. And what I want to point out is that if you're following what we talk, we were into a bullish pullback into the market. If you don't know, then we have different problems, Hassan. You should know, right? Anyways, but yeah, basically we have the pullback. So some of you guys buy the pullback, some of you don't. And then some of you, I know, are momentum traders. So at least, very least, you should be long, once we trigger the entry. That's the main idea. That's what we do here, right? Then you look for trades, you look for the better setups. So let's start with the Qs. So we are, we
Hey, Mario, sorry to cut you off. It looks like the audio may be a little low.
Wow, what's going on here? Let me see. What if I go here? Is it getting any better?
Carly, any comment on that?
You guys check your audio? Wow, because I got it like right on my mouth.
Sounds better now for me.
Okay, I'm gonna start yelling anyways. How's that? Would that work? Okay, so where are we now? As expected, inside day, nothing more, right? That's what we have. We have the 2 days sort of sideways move that was into Monday, Tuesday last week when we were trying to break to the out of this pullback. So we did 1 to 3 days, and then we just have 3 days up, and now first day that we actually in an inside day. So for tomorrow it's pretty simple. We go 344.50, right? And then we go under 340.50, right? So 344.50, 340.50, that's gonna be our range for tomorrow, right? Then we go with the levels. So I don't think we need to spend that much time discussing the market because now we know where we are. We're into pretty much all-time highs, trying to see if we got the momentum. Momentum should materialize. That's the other thing I've been looking, right? You guys cannot anticipate momentum. You gotta wait for momentum, right? When you're doing a pullback entry, when you're doing support, when you're accumulation, you might be willing to take one of those entries that I use, like support and everything. But if you trade momentum, you got to see momentum. You don't see momentum, it's no trade. Plain and simple, right? Let's go into Apple then. So what we have for Apple is a typical 1, 2, 3 that I'm looking for. We didn't trigger today, which is awesome. So it's perfect setup, right? We should be looking at 135. So we got the 134, 135. Pretty simple for Apple, right? That's the call. That's call number 1 for Apple, and we should be this could go tomorrow, absolutely. If it's gonna be like we know we talk about the QQQs being an inside day, so that's a trade one, right? That's a trade one, plain and simple. Now let's go and look at what happened with Apple. What we just talked about, right? This is a moment where you can get a little bit more aggressive. We're talking and we're buying here in the 124. Second entry is over 128, so you should be long. And then you have the 1 day yesterday, then you have the second day today. So we're waiting for the third day, and we go for 135. Nothing fancy here. Nothing fancy. 135 is a big level as far as the point of control. I like to look when I start seeing those big movers, big levels. I want to see how the bigger time frame looks. So guys, I'm always looking who's in control. So once we clear the 135, right? The 135 is going to put us right here. So let's call target 1 is 136.70, which is pretty much the same. 137, but then we can go all-time highs, which is 145. Okay, so we know we may have a bust up right there between 135, 137, but then 137 we go 145, which is new all-time highs. Okay, so that's Apple. I like the setup. Market will dictate if it goes, or I don't know if it's the other way around. If if Apple is going to drag the market up. So the other one we love too, we executed quite well. I know some of the guys in the team did. Is the Amazon play. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Right there with the market, you come to point of control in multiple time frames. So we talk about the 3200. I don't have the call right here. I don't want to spend too much time on what we did, but I know we call it. So what we're looking here is for the second leg, right? So the weekly still inside a range, right? This is a stage 3. If you guys know Wyckoff method, this is stage 1, this is stage 2, this is stage 3. So we're still in a sideways stage number 3. So we're not chasing just yet. However, if you're trying to get into momentum on a daily chart, you might be chasing because you just like 8 days late, right? So I don't hate it if we come and pull back. So I'm going to keep a reference at 3,300, right? Which is going to be about closer to the point of control. So it's going to be 3,300 the daily point of control, or else I'm going to be trading 3,400 just for pure momentum. So pure momentum, for those of you guys that are listening to us for the first time or are not familiar or tend to forget things, pure momentum requires you to take the highs. If you're not taking highs, you're not doing momentum. You're still inside the prior day's range. Make sense? So that's Apple. So Facebook, let's do the Facebook. So what we have on Facebook, you can see my FIBs that I was working last time. We have the same pullback um, as in the market. So first extension, and I think I call it today. Somebody was calling this one to be a breakout just because we made highs, all-time highs. So at that point in time, when you're like breaking highs by a point or something like that on a bullish market, pretty much making all-time highs, I'm very cautious with that. I don't tend to be that aggressive at that point in time, especially if I know that I have a Fibonacci target right on top of me. And guess where we stopped today? 33992, which is the fib target one. So for this one, if I want to play momentum, I'm going to wait for 3,400, 340. I'm sorry, I'm still having the Amazon on my mind. So 344, and you can see the target right there. It should be 350, about 350. And then we, guys, that I do a fine tune it for targets intraday. So that's so important that you be in the traders think tank, so you can see how we approach it daily. But the call for Facebook is we just want to see momentum continue into that. So market goes high, this should go higher, and we buy the 3,400 into 349, right? 349, that'll be target one. Let's check the weekly. The weekly, as far as extension, you can start looking at, if you throw your fibs on your charts, you see 350, 366, and then probably an extension of the Bollinger Bands can bring us all the way to 370. So we got plenty of plays right there, right, for momentum. So that's the F in FAANG. We go into FAA Netflix, I assume. So for Netflix, we make a call yesterday based on the daily pattern, right? So the daily pattern, I'm not going to go into the detail. You should know how to trade support resistance, and you should know how to play a range. If you don't, contact me or Kyle, and we gladly will teach you how to play a range, right? So what we have right here is pretty interesting, right? What I like is the daily point of control. No wonder that yesterday the target was 505. So pretty much no magic. What we have is a 50-day moving average right there with the daily point of control. So that's going to be pretty hard to break. Once we break it, it's going to be 505.50, right? Sometimes I understand it looks frustrating when I put like 505.50 or 505.75, and you say like, wow, why just not take the 505? And I'm like, well, because I'm looking at a big level right there, and I don't want to trade the noise. I want to trade when I'm out of the noise, when I'm into the price discovery zone. So I'm going to go 505.50 for 515, and I think that's the range that we've been talking about. Here's the other thing we got to keep in mind. We've been into a squeeze. This is a daily squeeze 12, right? So it's 12 days that we've been pretty much doing nothing, right? It looks like a lot, but it's not really a lot. This is a $500 stock. That's the other thing. We have the same situation with Nvidia. People try to trade a $700 stock with a dollar stop. It doesn't make any sense. Just put it like, it normally moves like 1%, so it's 7 points. You're not even giving it like 0.5% move. So make sure you know exactly what you do it. Like Kyle says, know your stocks, know what you're trading, know your instruments too. Know what options is that you're using. So let's go back into Netflix on the weekly chart. This is what we have. We have a big move, and we're still in stage 3, which has been going on like how many years now? Like a couple of years now. It's gonna be a year now, right? So this is what we're trading, and this is where we are. So what I really want is I want the meat of the movement, which is going to be 515. Look at that. Once we start getting 515, 520, you don't need to chase. We go 550, 560, and 600, right? But we still first needs to get need to work into the 505, 515. That could be tomorrow. That could be on Friday. That could be any day. Once we start clearing those areas, we go 518 is a 20 MA, so I'll say 520 for 560 for 600. Okay. That is because I'm not sure we're gonna have well, like I may not have the opportunity to update you intraday or on this target. So I want to make sure you guys have the bigger targets in case this starts moving, and it can move at any time. So FAANG GOOL. So the Google, what we have is just a boring. One of the most frustrating charts to trade for me is when they start doing like low volatility uptrends right in the 8 MA, because all I can say is like by the highs, right, and try to find if you get 1 day of momentum. But if you see, it's nothing really spectacular here. We're doing like pretty much average volume every single day. You go up every day or down every day, but it's like a high open every day. So I don't know until we see a good pattern. And I don't know if you remember, guys, when we called Google. This is what I'm talking about, a good pattern, right? It doesn't mean that if you post it tomorrow, oh, it's going to go 24.55 for 24.56. You can't make money. Absolutely, you're going to make money on that one. It's like 2 points on a $2,000 stock. But I feel like it's a waste of your time and my time just being analyzing that. What I want to see, and I want you guys to help us going forward, is to find these type of setups, right? When you find a weekly chart on a stock like Google that is doing something like this, that's when we're going to be involved in the stock. Now, in here, I don't care. Can care less about Google. Unless we have news, catalyst, but that changed the whole picture. Nobody knows. At least I don't get any inside information to, say that I know that Google's about to move. So Google is just a boring uptrend, right? Keep watching it, just as a reference, whatever. So that ends the FANG. Let's
Microsoft.
let's go with the Microsoft, because I know that's like the one that always they put it right there. And Microsoft, yeah, I think it gave us a good entry. I think it was the weekly chart probably that have us with that entry. So here's the pullback on the weekly. Not my favorite thing to trade. This is what I will call probably a slow play or a swing trade, swing type of trade. So what's the next step right here? If we throw right here the pullback, we should be doing like 263. I want to see momentum first, just for the sake that I think this, if I throw the fib from here to here, we pretty much gave like 50% of the move. So the odds of this one breaking to new all-time highs is not the same as if we have stayed within the top range of the move. So we need confirmation. That's what I call when I say, hey, I need a little bit more confirmation. It could go absolutely. What I want to see is like a break of highs, which is 263 with volume, right? Can you play tomorrow for 260 to 263? Absolutely. That's a 1.5% move in Microsoft. You can do it any day. So not a problem, right? But for sure, keep in mind, if we clear 263.25 with volume, right? And this will be a Momo into all-time highs. So that's should we go into yeah, let's do the semiconductors. Let's do the semis, because I think there's a couple that we're looking. Nvidia, of course, is the main one. Uh, let's keep in mind where we're coming from. So look at the monthly chart. What we have is a stage 2 into stage 3 that broke up to new highs. I think we call the 600 for 700 and something, 770. I don't even remember what was my call, like a couple hangouts ago, that I say I want Nvidia for 600 is the first one. So that's not the one I'm looking for. I'm pretty sure I said it that it was gonna go 700 something at some time. So I don't know. It moved so much I don't even remember. So let's do Nvidia. For Nvidia, what I want to be doing is I want to continue playing with the monthly chart that we see right here. We have the support right here, 556. That's where the main play started. So we have it right here. We have an entry right here. We have an entry right here, and we have an entry right here. I think this was Wednesday that we started looking at this one, and we got the move, and we got the trend day. I think it was Friday. We have the trend day. This is perfect, guys. This is perfect. This is what you want. I know you guys love the 1, 2, 3. I love it too, but it has filters. So when we don't get the filters, you just have to be patient. Don't get yourself into trouble on day 2, on day 3, on day 4. Because by day 4, you say, you know what? I don't want to trade Nvidia anymore because it sucks. It doesn't trade well. It doesn't do anything. And then on day 5 that you decide not to trade it, that's the day when we can score like 20, 30, 40 points on a trade, on a clean, beautiful setup, right? So that's pretty much Nvidia. And this is what I'm talking about, right? This is the day when you want to trade that $700 stock with a tight stop, with a beautiful chart right here. That's a beautiful chart, okay? So for Nvidia, what are we doing right now? We're looking at the 700 by 725, right? So Nvidia is on a 700 by 725. That means I'm going to be looking if we start testing the 700. Why? Because we have a lot of volume right here, right? That's what I trade. I trade volume, I trade moving averages, right? And I trade distance from the moving average, right? I don't want to be trading right here, but I want to be trading near the 20 MA. Now, is that DA, which is stronger? Sorry, correction. 20 MA stands at 654, right? But I don't want to see it at 64 because I have the volume right here. So in this case, I'm going with the 8 MA. So I'm trying to look at the 8 MA in a power trend. We are in a power trend. That's what we write in the 8 MA. So again, 700, 725. Those are the two levels. I will treat them pretty much as a range. In the middle, you can trade, be my guest. But what I really don't want to lose is if we start making new highs or if we go into 700. So that's for Nvidia. The other one that I know some of the guys are helping us track is AMD. Basically, what we're trying to do here is we are into stage 3. So we have a big bullish move. We have a sideways move now, consolidation. We don't know if this is going to be distribution, meaning we're going to break down, or if this further accumulation that is going on. In that case, we should see 100 plus, right? The problem is right here, right? You have a lot of chop, and I mean, if you buy enough time, you can always play and say we're going 87, we're going 88, or we're going 72. So we have a big time frame that we're working between 72 and 87, 88. I'm sorry. I think it was, what's the day we failed? We failed at 90. Let's call it 90, right? What I want to see, at least, at the very least, I want to see this stock closing over 83.50, right? Like taking out at least this last couple weeks, I'll say. Once we go over 83.50, this is a hint. This is how I use my I go do 82, 82. That then I'll know we are about to break 83. Once we go over 83, I'll see what's the price, action during the day, and probably take a good entry prior to 83, 88. Once we start closing over 83, 88, 84, we start calling it like, okay, guys, we may be able to hold this one for 89 in the next couple of days, like we did with Apple into 130, right? So that's pretty much how we trade it here. And that's exactly what I want to do, right? So for AMD, I want to see how we treat 83, especially for a close over 83. What is it? 83, 83.50, I think. 83.88. That's the 200 MA, right? So AMD over 83, over 84, 489. Okay, I'm just running numbers now that I'm talking. So AMD, not sure if any of the other semis are even worth the time.
Qualcomm.
Yes, Qualcomm is about to do exactly what we're doing here with Intel. I was just checking if Intel has any. Now, what Intel looks like, it's we have a lot of accumulation. Looks like at 58. So it may get interesting once we start closing into that gap. Okay, what I see right here is we have a gap right here, and a lot of people will say, "Oh, it's going to close the gap," right? So we can always use that as a catalyst for further move, right? It's not real, but I know a lot of people will just trade that. So we can look into that. Just keep on alert on that one in case we go 89, I'm sorry, 59, 60, and we may take it. But I know, so for Intel, just in case, okay, over 59 and the gap for 62, which is not huge. Yeah, this is actually nonsense. Let's do Qualcomm. This one we've been monitoring, and I like that one. And we still have the. I think that's a sign for that I put from last week or my last meetup. 140 is the monthly buy. So this is what I'm trying to buy, right? This is what we're trying to buy. 140, right? So we want to see it. Why are we looking to do that? This is the main prices for 2020. So 135 is the main volume point of control for the whole year. So what we have is, I think we are into 1-2 right at that double, right? So let's go into a cleaner chart. So probably we can come right here, and this is what we're doing, right? We didn't break today. Well, my cents, don't call me on that one, right? Couple cents. So what I need is that, like, absolutely 138, no, 137.50 will do it. Yeah, 137.50. And I'll play it just as a momentum, right? I'll play it just as a momentum, right? What I want to do is I'm going to try to get 137.50 to trigger me into the 140, right? 137, 140, which is the monthly buy. So I go 138. Again, come on. So hard. Let me see. I think it's 138. Yeah, 138.25. Let's call it 138.25. Momentum. 138.25. Side note, this one doesn't trade that well, so you need a lot of volume for this one to move. And then we try to hit the 140 and 145 over 140, which is the monthly trigger for 145 target one. Now, if this one really has the power, we close over 145.30 based on the monthly chart, which you see 160. So we got plenty of room right there in case this one decides to run. Qualcomm, what else do we have here? I think Marble, those is unless you see anything that is like let's just go with the normal. I think Marble just popping my scan because we're doing, yeah, we just reaching some highs, and this is the level we're approaching, right? The 150, the 54.50, the 54.25. So this, in case we have the volume tomorrow, this could be a good 1, 2, 3 setup, right? Let me check the weekly. Let's see where we stand right here. Let's see if we have it. Yeah, this is basically food range. So it's a tough call right here. It's a tough call. Momentum traders can always play 54 for 57, right? 54, 55, 57. So I'm going to write it down just as a Momo in case we have full volume tomorrow. 154 for 154, no, 54. That's 54, 54, 56, 57 targets. Okay, not the best. Let's do streamers. So we already did the Netflix. Now let's do Roku, because I know it's setting up. It was setting up something similar to what we were looking to do with Qualcomm. The problem is that we absolutely failed today, right? And we failed on higher than average volume. So this one apparently will be a trap. So what I want to do, the only way I'll do this is clearly momentum is to the downside. I hope you all agree, because I can see it here, right? We were green yesterday. Today we have a big down red day and volume higher than the prior day. So momentum is to the red side, right? to the short side. I don't want to be the one trying to pick the bottom on this one. That's not my business. I don't try to do that, right? What I want to do is I'm going to wait till we trap these shorts, if we ever, and then I'll take the 367, 368, and I continue to do it as a long, right? Can you trade it short? Absolutely. If that's your game, you can trade it short too. But my main call for today is I want to look at Roku 365 over 371 for 400. 360. I'm not sure if there was any news about this, so I don't know. I gotta double check my feeds and see if there was any news why we went down like that. So 365. I'm sorry, just the high of today, which is 366, but I really want is 369, 370. Okay, over 370 for, we should hit 400, and then we talk about it. Once we clear those 30 points, we can probably see 450. So that's Roku. Did I say Disney? Yeah, we can talk about Disney. I think, well, I don't remember. Oh my God. There's a storm right here in Miami. And you know what happens when it's raining here. So it was Disney. I think it was the last one we saw. Correct me if I'm wrong. So we're doing what we call the streamers. So for Disney, I don't see much right there. I think the call will be no call for Disney. I get interested once we start going over the 50 MA. So let's put an alert, a 180, 179, 180. That's a level that we may want to watch. And then we start getting really into it, like once we start getting 184, 185. Basically what we're doing with Disney then is just a simple matter of our following and tracking, keeping track of the 50 MA and the daily point of control. That's it. No call. Just watch the 50 MA and the daily point of control. So we did Roku. We already did the Netflix. As far as the streamers, and now we go with, let me double check what will be next. Let's do Fubo. I know it's one that we've been watching lately. So for Fubo, daily, I like the monthly. Look at the monthly. Monthly is pretty good. It looks like we have this pullback into massive zone with volume. We can see it right here, right? We have the monthly point of control. We have the level for the whole year. That was at 21, and that sparked a rally of almost 30, 40%, right? Into the 30. So that was a pretty good trade. If anybody got it, I know there was some short component over there. We can see that there's volume on the green days, and then the red days, you don't want to do anything with that. So what I like to see in here, is a daily breakout play. So I'm going to start looking at that once we start getting over 31, 31, 35, right? I'm going to place my alerts right there. And the main idea will be, let me see the weekly, probably the weekly is telling us something. It'll be just a weekly momentum trade, sort of a 1, 2, 3, but I don't call that a 1, 2, 3 because the first day or first month or first week in this case is not the igniting move. So it's not technically that, but it's just a simple way for people to understand the concept of what we're trading right here is just pure momentum. So over 35, 50 for 36. That's a simple call for Fubu. So FUBO over 31.50 for 36, target 1. Now we go to plug. That's what we did last time. I don't know why plug is here. It's a battery play. So just get this one out of the way so we don't forget about plug. What we actually tracking for plug is probably this monthly buy setup that we have right here. A little steep. If we go 330 to 75, well, there's not much to say right there. We get pretty much everything on the rally. What's interesting now is that we're trading right now near 31.05. So we might think, or we might try this one.
as a accumulation zone as a 3105. This is where we are. I don't want it in here below the 200 and the 50 MA. So I may want to wait till we go over 3220 and then we put it back on the watch list. So 3220 and for sure over 35 for plug. Remember, this is I think this is a highly shorted stock, so that can be done any day whenever they start running it. So we're talking about over 32. I think it's similar to what we talked last time on the last meetup. 3250. Let's call it 3250. Place your alerts at 32, guys, so you can keep us monitoring, so we can help help with the keeping track of the trades. Same 3480. So you should have another alert at 3450, 3430, and we should be able to catch whatever move we have right here. Let's move into the payments, which we like to keep track. And I know SQ is getting ready for something. We're recording due to a power outage or internet outage on my place yesterday. So we're recording this one on 6/16 at 10:30 in the morning. This is Fed day today. So the candle that we're watching right here is not closed yet. So this is the middle of the day, well, the morning, right? So I'm basically calling trades of what we had as of yesterday, right? This can trigger as of today before you guys get to see the video. But if it doesn't, then the trade stands, right? Those that are trading with us in the traders think tank, we're gonna give you updates if this one happens to trigger today. So this is one we're looking, and this is pretty interesting because what we're looking for SQ is a sort of a breakout over the daily point of control. So I'm looking for a trade over 23350. Okay, 23350 for a Momo trade of daily point of control. Uh, we're getting really good in the tank as far as the way we call it, because these are not strategies. These are not strategies what we're talking about right here. People will decide how to enter, how to execute, how to trade it, but we try to create a language that we all understand and we can communicate pretty fast, so people know exactly. If I say this is a daily point of control play, you go into your screen, you go into your charts, and you definitely will be able to see exactly what is what we're talking about. Then you decide how is it that you're going to play it, right? So for this one, pretty simple, is a momentum trade. We're looking 23350. That'll be the trade. And then we go to PayPal, which is the other one we like to follow as far as the payments. We can see that is a little extended from the 260, which is a level which would have been ideal to get into the trade, right? We have this sideways base, right? That happened while we were like, we probably talk on I think 6-1 was the last thing, was the last meetup, 6-1, 6-3, about around this time. So that was a perfect entry versus the 50 MA on a base. Then we started seeing a kind of a breakup, but not real breakup. So the trade, what I want to see in PayPal, if it can clear the 278. Now I'm going to see the weekly chart now, and this will give you like a better perspective, right? We're sort of in a phase 3, right after a trap right here. This is an expansion, whatever, like climatic expansion. It went too far, came back, tested the 20 MA. Now we're going sideways. What we want to see is like 278 holding and probably testing the 300. So 278 for 300. For 300 on PayPal. Past the payments, we like to go over. I think we do the cars, electric cars, especially. So let's do the Teslas and the Neos and all of those other ones that we like to follow. So for Tesla, that's a weekly. That's the one that I had right here. So we know 700 has been a key level for the whole day, whole year. I'm sorry. So 693, 700, that's a key level for 2021, the year we're in. Where technically, if you go through the big chart, we just have a massive rally and we're just making a pullback, right? Pullback from 66 to 700, 900. I don't know. That's like top of the range, still top of the range. When we come into the weekly chart, we still see it. I know some of you guys caught this second test into the 540, 5 something, right? 550, 540, 550. That worked back into, that's the 8MA, guys, for reference. That's the 8MA. We're still under the 8MA, so I'm not liking it, like as far as momentum. But once we start going over that momentum, which can happen over 635, that can get interesting. So let's go and see what happens on the daily, if the daily is showing us a different picture. But I think we can work with Tesla over the 640, which is the 50MA. Okay. What we don't want to see is we don't want to see the 50, I mean, the 50 crossing under the 200, right? That we don't want to see. So for Tesla, let's watch 50MA sitting at 240, right? For a trade back, sorry, what am I getting? 240, 640, right? For a trade into 685, right? Everybody on track? Everybody taking good notes? Sounds good. Okay, that's Tesla. Let's do XPV. So for XPV, remember this is middle of the day. So what we have is like we came pretty much from one extreme Bollinger Band. This is a Bollinger Band to standard deviation. By the way, some of you guys know how we trade this, so there's a methodology to the madness. So you come from here up until here. We didn't make it to the extension, but we're a little bit too far from the 20MA. So normal to expect that we may pull back into this one, right? So 34, 36, that's the level that we will watch. If not, then what we will be monitoring going forward for this one is the weekly, just trigger a daily buy. This is different kind of daily buy. This is not garden variety. Daily buy, big initial move. That, remember guys, that day when we have like, well, that was a month actually, when he just run like crazy. He gave back pretty much all the move. Now we found some buyers in here. It looks like they're holding into those. So let's look and see how we react once we start going over 43. So this could be a momentum trade over 43.50 for 46.75. Not great, right? So over 43.50 for 46.75, about, yeah, 46.75, 47, right? That's based on the volume profile. But I would like to take a look at this one if we go back to 34, right? So look for support resistance in the 34 area. That's big, guys. We're trading now $40, so 34, that'll be like 8 points. No, not 8 points, 6 points, I'm sorry. So that's like 15% drop. So this one's like right in the middle of nowhere, right? Gotta play it carefully. Then we go to NEO. NEO's been kind of hot over the last, I'll say last week, couple weeks. We have a couple good days. Interesting volume on the long side. When we come and refer to the daily, to the monthly chart, we can see that this is basically the same pattern that we have right here, right? It's kind of boring once you start seeing this, but the boring will usually make you money, right? You don't have to go that crazy. You just look for the good setups and then you just jump in and try to capture whatever it is from this 10% move that we got in NEO. So what do we do from here in NEO? NEO is showing us a lot of volume right here. So I would like to see it, and you see my alert right there, over 47.50. Okay, so for NEO, I want to see it over 47.50 for a trade into 55. We're going to have some trouble likely at the Bollinger Bands unless volatility starts expanding. But the target, I'm going to call it at, what was it? 55. Yeah, let's call target 151, 55. And we keep a close eye into those Bollinger Bands, how volatility is expanding and all of that. Here's the bigger picture. So here's target one, right? 55. And then if we continue with the momentum, we can see 65 for target two. So that's NEO. A lot of news, a lot of noise, I'll say, into the other names. So just go, let's breeze through them. FSR, that's a Fisker. Not sure. I don't remember if it's one of the targets for the Wall Street bets, but we trade technical, so we don't care. As long as it's giving us signals, we can absolutely do a trade, unless it's like crazy volatility and we gotta be chasing. We don't chase. I don't like chasing. So here's what's setting up, right? Again, we have a lot of volume right here, a lot of volume at the daily point of control. That was probably the day when they started hitting it hard at Wall Street bets. That was a move from 12 to 17. Beautiful move, 50% up. Now, what we have here is a sideways consolidation. I like to think about that as a sideways consolidation. The way we break from here is usually through volume over the prior high. So we need to be looking at the 1930. For FSR, we're going to be looking at 1930. And the target, who knows, right? Target, with these guys these days, we can see 22, then we can see 31, who knows? But at least 22, let's call it 22 so we can measure risk reward. I don't recommend people taking trades and just like, oh, let me get in and then I'll see where my target is, right? You have to have some sense of this can go to 22 so you can evaluate exactly what is the implied move. You're going to be buying, options today and they're implying a move of 8 points that puts you at 25. You got to clear 22 too, so you're paying too much. That's a quick way to know if you're overpaying, right? Doesn't mean you're not going to be making money, but basically the big move that you're expecting is already priced in. So make sure you talk to Kyle, you go into the website and look for the videos where we talk about, pricing option models and understanding what is it you got to do when you have these unique situations where the implied move is bigger than the move that you're expecting to have. So 1930 for 22, that's for Fritzker. And the other one we like to have is like Workhorse, which is the WK Workhorse, WKHHS. Interesting chart, because we have the volume right here, 1320. However, when you look back at prior year, we have there was a lot of people trapped at the 20. There was a lot of people trapped at 16. So we got a lot of traders that probably traded the 19, the 20s, and the 16. So we're under that, and that can be reflected also here in the monthly, right? The monthly, you have the pullback, and now we got to break over 20. That's the trade at one. I think we almost did it last week. And what actually saved us on taking a subpar trade is we never actually trigger. And I think we were waiting for this one to break over the 200 MA. That's the trade. When this one's going to get interesting, really interesting. So I want to see it over 2050. Some of you may think this is too late. So if you're playing this one and with time and not for an intraday trade, this is very interesting, guys. We're testing the whole volume for the whole year. So it's not crazy to buy 13 with a really tight stop, like 1250, 12, something like that, and trying to get it for 20. So I'm going to call this one, actually, let me change the call for Workhorse. WKHS inside range. I'm going to call it 1250 for 1950. And then we go over 2025, I think it is. And from there, we can see 2025 should take us back into $25. Yeah, the $25, $26 area. So a couple trades, really interesting trades right there. The 2025, that's a 20% call. The 12 to 19, you can make another 50% right there, close to, right? So a couple 50% calls right there for Workhorse. So Workhorse stays on our watch list and is a must watch. Am I missing something, guys, as far as the electric vehicles? Anything new? Anything we should add right there? Okay, let's do the normal cars, right? Yeah. Let's do the cars. So we got General Motors with news today. I think they're opening 2 new plants, electric plants for batteries, I think it is. So it tried to break Basic, what we have is like basic daily pullback into the 20 MA, and now we got pop. Apparently, the gap is being sold as of right now, as an early morning. So I'm gonna go into the weekly chart and see if there's something else going on right here. So this is a better trade for GM. So we want to see it over 63.30, right? That'll be the prior high that we have April. And then from there, we can take the momentum over 64.30, right? So for GM, on a weekly chart, we go over 64.30, which is, I'm not going to say all-time highs, but I don't know for how long we haven't traded over there. As far as the daily, if you're aggressive and you're trying to get before, today is the day that you can buy it, right? We triggered today on the gap up. Target one is 64.30. So now you know it triggered today, and then for swings, I'm talking for swings. I'm not talking about a momentum trade. A momentum trade right here will be 64.30, and we are not there yet. Same pattern, the same pullback. I got a lot of lines in here. I don't know why, what I was trying to do with 4. So let me just remove them, make sure we have what's important right here. I think I was trying to do some calculations, but yeah, let's do them. Let's see what's if something fun right here. So we come from here to here. So we didn't even pull back to the 38, which is good. I like it because that means we're strong. We're strong into this initial move. As long as we don't start going into 1388s or we lose 1354, this remains as a bullish watch. Now, what's the trade? Now we can start looking for setups that you can be able to trade. So for tomorrow, likely, if we can get 1531 for 1645, that'll be one trade. Now, what I don't like about these trades is the location where we are. We've been going up for literally hundreds and hundreds of percent from 3 to 16, and this year we went from 8 to 16, so that's a double. So I'll play it just as a normal uptrend. Whenever we see a volume, whenever we see a catalyst, we try to jump in. That's what we try to do today with the GM news, but really didn't carry over. So we'll keep it as daily buys. So let's call for a daily buy, setting up, and now we need the entry will be 1536, over 1536. That's likely going to hit tomorrow, unless we got some news from FOMC that really spark a rally in the market. So it may trigger today, but I'm not looking for that. I don't think so. Pretty much done for the day for now. So we got the cars. So GM, Ford. Let's go to Chinese names. Chinese names, they have been underperformers as far as I can remember since we have been watching them. So I think we have a call on BABA for the last time. Well, let's take this off, and this is what we're looking at now. We're looking at that 210 as a level. So in here, right, we're here 210, below the 210. That's pretty much under last year's big accumulation zone, or at least big point of control, right? We don't know if this is accumulation. I'll say probably. So let's see what's going on with this one. So we coming back. I remember we like this one a lot, and we traded all the way up. And yeah, I gotta clear all these levels right here. So what we're doing is like the 200 right there. That's the main watch, right, on BABA. So we got a couple levels that we can look for BABA. Like for tomorrow, let's say if we break 210, not crazy to think that we can go and trade 205, 200, right? So BABA, Momo under 210 for 205 and 200. Not that big, just 5% move, right? Now, if this 210 proves to be support, like real support, we should see it, and we should see it soon. Once we start going over 216, we can start trading 216 to 220, 228. So over 216, 220, and 228. Again, we talked about this briefly last night about people trying to anticipate, and they say, well, if you think it's going to go to 228 and now it's 210, why not buying it here instead of waiting for 210, 215? I can save myself $5. We're momentum traders, right? The momentum is to the downside here. So why would you be picking this up when it's still weak, technically weak? So you don't do that. Well, you do it, but that's not what we trade, right? So make sure you understand exactly what is that you're doing. Don't try to anticipate our calls and they say, well, it didn't go because you just got a bad entry. So here's Baidu. I'm referring to the weekly chart. We're about to test the 185 right here, right? We have 177 is a monthly point of control for the last 5 years, pretty much. So there's a lot of volume in the 177. Can we break? Absolutely. Levels are there to be broken, right? So what are the odds of that trade? Well, for sure, I don't want to be the guy shorting 177.80. So I can bounce here at 177, then just put like 30 points against me and I miss the trade, right? So what I'm looking is, check this out. We downtrending right here, right? The last part of the year, probably the last 6 months of the year. We're testing the 200, we're testing the 50 MA, we're testing monthly point of control. There's a little bit of a increase. This is a MACD, right? So there's momentum coming to the downside. Whenever this one stop, here's what I want to see. I want to see how we react to 180. So for Baidu, we have a key level of 180. And I hope you guys see it. The 180 is a key level for Baidu. And then the other one, which is a reference point, is the 200, right? So we can trade Baidu actually 180 by 200 inside that range, right? With the understanding that if we break 177, then whole different trade, a whole different game starts to develop right here. Now, if you want to go for the momentum trade, you got to wait for 204, 205, then you trade it and you take it for 230. So let's put it right here, 204 for 230, right? And remember, these things, as everything with the market, are subject to anytime being some news, anytime being some catalyst. By the way, when I trade reversals such as this, I usually trade in if there's a catalyst. I don't want to be the guy holding the bag, waiting for this one to turn around for, what is it now? Like almost since 5, so like a month, so that I can say like, oh, I got the bottom. I don't care. We're gonna get the news. This thing is gonna go up. We got pop right here, 194. We probably don't get it at 194. We'll get it at 185, and we'll ride it to 330, and that'll be the same day, and that's the better trade for me. Okay, let's do JKS. I think we followed that one. Not sure if I remember correctly. So the monthly setting up, again, pullback is a little bit too much. So let's see. Let's make sure that momentum is back into the name. So how do we know that? We go over 46, 41. That's what I want to see it, right? We got reference levels for this one. 41 is a key level, 39, 39, 40, 40, 41, and then 46. So over 46, we can see 10% to 50. So JK, oh my God, this is Jinko Solar. Is this Chinese too? Or I just make a, yeah, I was thinking JD. Let's do JKS. This is solar. Forget about the Chinese. I don't know if this one's Chinese. I don't think so. But anyway, so for Jinko Solar, we're going to go 39 by 46. If we go over 46, 50, you guys can see it there. 46.50 for $50, right? We're going to go for 10% right there. Now, let's do the JD, which is the Chinese that I was thinking about, right? So let's look at that monthly point of control, monthly chart. I'm sorry, point of control is so far. So I'm going to look for something into the weekly one, right? So what we have is we testing the level right here, right to the penny. You can take it, $70. It's a really important level. Looks like for solar. So this is sort of what I'm looking to BABA, right? Pretty much the same spot. If we break this one 70, you can trade it down to 66. Not bad. If we start getting into momentum, now this is not a big trade from here, 72, 75. What I want to start looking is if we go over 76. Now let's look at the weekly, see if there's some changes in here. So for the weekly, I think 80 can get really interesting. There's still volume right there, but from 80, you can get 10% right there. So JD over 80, which is daily point of control, 488 target one, and that's a range, right? Once we clear that one, likely for next hangout, probably we're gonna be like into the 90, 100. So just know what you're trading, you know the chart, so you can be absolutely, you should be able to make a decision right here. Oh, what is it that we're doing? Okay, this is what we're doing. Now that we talk solars with the JKS, let me jump into another solar that I'm watching right now, which is SPWR. It saw some volume a couple of days ago, so that's why it made it into my list. I'm looking for a monthly buy over 27, as you can see here. Let me just move that one out of the way so we don't have it in that. There you go. It's a monthly buy over 27. We have a couple moves in here. Let's look at the weekly, trying to break. I'm going back into, there's not a lot of support. There's not a lot of volume right here. However, the second one, well, after this one right here, this one. So that's like a 4-1 pretty much. We have the hammer right here, right at the 20. And then we're making sort of a small low in here. That's a weekly. So that's what I'm taking into account. Let me go into the daily and let's see what's going on. So this is like chop, chop, chop. You don't want to get in there. If we go over 27.50, that's where you see my alert. The thing is like we have this couple days with big volume. So that's what I'm like, okay, something's up with SPWR. So if this one start breaking 27.25, you know I want to be in this trade, right? 27.25, 30 for small target of 10%. So SPWR, I'm sorry, SPWR over 27.25 for T1, 10%, right? That's 30. And then when we get, if we get over 30 on a closing basis, now what I'm going to try to find here is some entry that makes sense. So 28, 30, probably 32, which is the high of the prior year. So over 32.40 and then over 32.40, which is prior year high, can take us back to the 40 level, you know, the 40, 44, which is the gap fill, right? So that's for 40 and 44. That could be interesting. And like I said, the only reason why I have it is because it's been popping in my scans like over the last few days. And actually we were in a daily squeeze and then we just trigger to the long side. And then now we're back into the squeeze. The squeeze count is 1. So today squeezing, but we try to break out of the squeeze. So keep that one in mind, SPWR. Anything else you guys want me to do as far as electricals? I don't trade them that often. So let's go with, I know last time we touched into Pinduo, Billy and QFIN. Let's take a quick look into those. PDD. So PDD, same pattern as all the Chinese. Look at the monthly buy. Look at the monthly for JD. Right? Look at the monthly for, no, not Baba. Baba is the worst. Let's see, Baidu. Yeah, no, not really. JD, PDD, those have better looking charts. So again, this one 120 to 144, right? 120 to 144 inside a range. PDD 120, 144. Needless to say, that's a tradable range. Why? Because it's wide. You can make money. It's It's kind of big. Those are the kind of ranges that I like. And you are at a key level, right? When you go back and you look at the monthly chart, you can see that there's a pattern. There's a pattern right there. It's not just you just making stuff up. Now for the momentum trade, what I have here in my notes is 145.50, right? So that'll be like 145.25, 125.45.50, right? If you just want to wait or you miss the first move, you know there's a second chance. It's always a new buzz behind the one you lost. So don't chase them. Don't overpay. Don't be that guy. Don't be that person. PDD, Bili, BILI. BILI, wow, it looked like it tried to break, right? We're still in that monthly buy zone. We have a big candle. Look at the tails, right? I like those tails. That's supposed to be, you know, buyers right there supporting the price. So we have a near nice price right there for 108, which we can see here on a daily point of control level, right? So 108, that's a level to watch, and then 117. I'd rather have it over 117 on some news from China, some volume from China. If you see today, like it's no volume right here, still early, I know, but we're doing like 20% arbol, so that's pretty low. That's not the day that this is going to work, that this is going to break out. But keep an eye. There's news, catalyst, whatever. 117 and over 123. So 117 over 123. 117 for 123 and then over 123. It's going to make it, right? So over 117 for 123 and then over 123. We take the next one. Again, guys, I'm sorry about the alerts on the back, but those are my volume alerts. So it's telling me that something that I was watching is moving. QFIN. So we go into the QFIN. QFIN. This one's kind of new. I don't know why this one got hot, but I know it was asked by some of you guys on the last. Well, I know why. There's a lot of volume coming into this one. So that looks like a Wall Street bets type of trade. If that's the case, do you happen to have the short interest on that one? Let me see. Let's find it. Let's find it. It shouldn't be that hard. So QFIN has short. Not really. The float short is 224. My short ratio is 0.74, so it's not even a short. So I don't know, guys. If you want it, keep it in your watch list. It's a trend. It's an uptrend. That's all I can say. Impressive, still holding over the 8. So hey, be careful. When we break 37, you can trade all the way down to 33. That's a 4-point move. So that's a 10% move. And if you're really lucky, you can get it to 30, which is a 10-point move on a 40% or $30 stock. That's be a 25% move. So I'm not against this one as long as we don't have the momentum going against you. But this is the thing, right? We just went from 20 MA all the way to 3 standard deviations on the Bollinger Bands on a weekly chart. So if you have been paying attention to some of the seminars, you know, like 4409, that's the place where you're like, you know what, I gotta take some profits. You know, I'm not saying you need to short it right there, but it's a good place to take profits. If you're still there, you just lost 10%. Now, if you start going on the 39, you get my point, right? 39 for 33 and for 30. So let's do that one. 39 for 33 and for 30. Reversal, guys, reversal trade. So this is not should not be your bread and butter. It should be trend traders. But if we have like a bad day or whoever, you know which one might give you a good entry, good trade right there. QFIN. Last time we touched on the cruises. not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we were just doing like random stocks that we're setting up. So let's do something better now. Let's go with how about we do security, right? Let's do some security stocks because with all the malware, all the stuff that is going on these days. So let's make sure because those has been in play. So let's do Fastly right now. FSLI, those are security plays. Cybersecurity, that's what I meant. Not Brinks. So 70, there's some people trap at 70, right? We can see here, right? 70, 70, 70, 70 broke 39. And I think I have at some point in time, I have a bearish call on this one. Never trigger, right? That's why we wait for the triggers. Not even by 1 cent. Yeah, you can call it like couple cents, but if you post that one for me, I'll be like, yeah, right. That's not a break, right? So reversal, and now what we're working is like this was the reversal trade that we called. You come back right here, target 1, the 50-day MA. Now it's getting interesting here because what I'm looking now is like this hole. All I'm trying to do is trade it back to 70 for now, right? 60 to 70, guys. That's over 10% move. So Fastly, 62 daily point of control at 70, and that's a top watch for me, right? Probably not gonna trigger today, but it's getting ready. Make sure we have it, right? When do we change the perspective on this one? Well, once you start losing like, if you start losing like 51, let it go back over the way to 44. So now you're trading a range, right? So that too. So we got Fastly, we got CrowdStrike, CRWD, which is on my watch list too. And it looked like they try to break it today. And this is the problem, guys, on low volume days, right? It's like, yeah, you're breaking, you're paying. Now you're holding the bag at your entry of 235 or worse. No, that's the worst entry you can have. Like high of the day, 235, and now you're holding it. So not too bad. You're only down like 2 points, which is 1%. But it could be worse, right? So still liking it. I still like the pattern. I like the area right here, the 211 and then the 215. So for this one, can we call it a fail breakout in here? No, I think it hasn't even break, right? We need volume and we need price action. So what we have here is a big move, and this is just on watch for a continuation play. So let's call 235.50 CRWD for a continuation play. Momo, that's what I meant to say. Momo continuation. Momo into 246. So that's target 1, 10 points. Not a lot for a $200 stock, but still 5%. You can make money out of that. So that's CRWD. We got the Fastly. We got Zscaler, which is another one. This one's breaking a little bit better than CRWD. If you guys see the volume, when you come to CRWD, you see a volume, it's been dropping for 5 days. So something's up, right? When you go to Zscaler, you see the volume. Well, it's still green, but at least we have higher than average volume higher volume than yesterday. And it's only 11:20 a.m., right? So we already did more volume than yesterday. So this could be the actual break that we're looking for the day, right? 214, we should notify the guys that are trading live that this one stays on the watch. And then you come here and then you understand why we like it. You see, 215, that was BWAP. Some people just use BWAP like randomly and they pretend that every 15-minute chart is the same. This one's like, I told you already, we got like 2 or 3 things going, right? We got the security things that are hot. We got higher than at least than yesterday's volume. And let me just double check to see if we're doing higher than average volume. And we're doing 244%, like above average volume. So this one is in play. Notify the guys in the room, please, some of you guys. And this one stays 215, 217, and then we take it for 232. So Zscaler looking great right there. That's what I like, right? This is the pullback, guys. This is how a pullback looks. I know some of you guys get scared when you see a red bar and then you start like, oh my God, it's over. Zscaler is going to go bankrupt. And I'm not exaggerating, right? I see the post and I'm like, oh my God, it's over. No, it's not over, right? You just have you have a massive move from the 50 MA from 183 all the way to 212. So that's like 40 points, right? And then you cannot take like a pullback that goes literally 2 points below the low on the prior day after 40 points up. So keep it in your watch list. Make sure you know when the next one is going to pop. And today was that day. So we're watching Zscaler. So Zscaler, going to go back. This is an intraday watch, right? For 215, if you want to trade it, as long as we got the volume, we're okay. Now, for the purpose of this meeting, we're going to be looking at a close over 215 for 230, right? 215 for 230. So that's something that I'll probably do once we stop this one. I'm going to go and see if I buy me some Zscaler. Okay, so Zscaler. Any other security ones that you guys want me to check? Did my research, but those are like the main three ones that I know of. Okay, let's jump into Zoom. How's that? Zoom. Let's do some recovery opening. No, this is closed economy, and now is new economy, and everybody's still using it. I have a board meeting tomorrow, and everything's done Zoom, so I'm not flying out anymore as much as I used to. So I get to trade even more. So that's the thing. Look at the pattern. We have the great call right here on a breakout play. That was like last week. We have at 350. We hit 368. We never go. Why do we hit 368? So here's the thing, guys. Three standard deviations, right? Right there. So guess where we coming from? 273. So that's why I like this type of. I know, guys, like some people do like trend lines and everything, but use whatever you want, right? This is like what my mentor uses. So I use the standard deviations because it moves. It's not something that I have to do manually. It's just there. So at times it works, not all the times, but when it does, it's right on point. So we got that one right, 367. We try to break the following day, no volume. So what I'm doing is like this is like a bullish flag, right? We know that formation, people can take it. You can take it actually over 366. You can trade over 368. You can trade it, but for sure, take the 370 for 385. Okay, so Zoom 370 for 385. And guys, also let me see what the volume is today. I don't think it's doing like such great volume as Zscaler. So Zoom is doing below average volume. So we can see it right there in the chart. So probably today is not the best day to, probably if you're doing swings and you're trying to put some spreads on some exposure to the name, this is a good place. This is a good place. Look at the monthly chart we're looking right here. It's a good monthly chart, right? So this one I think is a little bit old because we're talking about 400s in the 400s and something. So that's what we're looking for the guys. If you guys catching this one, and we haven't triggered, this is your entry, 370. That's the one I'm looking for, 370 for 385. So 370 for 385. That's Zoom. I know Carly likes Piton, and I'm not saying the stock. I'm saying probably the company, or we're gonna have to ask her. So here's Piton. Piton is a tough trade. Intraday is really tough. It will give you a day or two where you feel like you're trading like this great stock, and then you come back for the next day and probably give you another day, but then it's just trash, guys. Trash. So guess what the day was? Is this day, right? We have that sort of confluence. Oh my God, yeah. where two things or three things meet. So we got the sort of a base, small base, right? You have the daily point of control holding it. You have the 50-day MA right there. So you got like two, three things going on. Then you have the day with the big volume. That's the day you take that trade. So I get a lot of DMs when people see like 1, 2, 3, 4 days and they like, oh, this is a daily breakout play, whatever. I'm like, yeah, but what are you breaking out of? Right? So for this one, I'm gonna give you really an extra piece right here. What happened is we were trading sideways, shook everybody out on bad earnings, and then you just come back up. So once you back up, people that were shorting this one here, they're gonna start taking stops. Yeah, and some of us that like to take this one, these reversal trades, will trade it. So that's what we did that day. Now where we are, because that's all we care, right? Where are we going from here? I wanted 115. I know we've been talking about this one trading 101, 100, 115. So you can call it that we're still into the 100 but 115 range, and that's an accurate call as far as I'm concerned. My technical analysis goes. So 100 by 115. Once you start going over that, out of that you can trade absolutely any side of the range, right? Because what you don't want to see is you don't want to see us or whoever's long. I'm not long, but people that are looking to get long, you don't want to see this one losing 98, 99, right? Now we're in trouble and we probably hit 92 and 82. I don't know how bad it is, the company, whatever it is, but for sure, 117, 115, we go to the one side, and then under 198, that's the second call. You can trade it short too. Remember, it's a tough one to trade intraday. What else we got? Mish, you there? What do we have for close economy? Oh, Doku, right? Doku. It's another one that used to be close economy. Now is hot. Everything's been done, you know. So check this out. This is beautiful. Look at this. Like accumulation last year, accumulation today. Nothing's breaking. This is like stage 2 into stage 3. This is what you want to see. Like this is a strong stock, right? So what I'm looking to do with Doku, we traded on the day that we had the catalyst, right? And it was a beautiful catalyst. That was Friday, I think, like 2 weeks ago, a couple weeks ago. We went over the 50 MA and we just blasted off. We were aiming just for 223 conservative, right? Target, only like 20, 30 points. But that 223 is a key level. You see it here, right? So 223. So now we're above that. So what we're trading here is just like, you know, a bullish pattern, just going right here. It looks like we're developing an uptrend. So for the uptrend to continue, we need to make a new high. So that will be over 263. Now, what I want to see is if probably the weekly chart is showing us something different. Sorry about that, guys. Something's up in the market. So this is what's going on, right? So we have same pattern right here. We just taking an X-ray with the weekly chart. So with the weekly chart, we had a massive accumulation. Somebody was like, you know, like really into this. They knew what they were doing during the pandemic, the beginning of the pandemic. And now we were like, okay, now what's going on? It looks like they still believe in the story. So we got 180 to 274. Now, at this point in time, when we're like at the top of the range, I'm not too aggressive buying, right? I will be, and I was aggressive trading into the earnings call right here. Why? Because risk reward. So I'm buying the bottom of the range and I'm selling into the top of the range. Now, if I have a bullish formation right here, then that changes everything, right? Is that going to happen? Who knows? So what we're going to be we need to monitor this one, the Doku. If we start seeing 260, 260, 265. So let's key levels for Doku, 260, 265. I'm sorry, don't call it key levels because we don't have the volume right there. These are just the reference points, 260, 265. I want to see if there's a formation right there. I want to see increased volume. I want to see something telling me, okay, it's time for Doku to do something and break. Now, what's the option that we have? The other option that we have is that we start developing like big volume right here, bigger volume, or a trend. So if we continue going in a trend, I'm going to call it an uptrend watch. 8MA. Okay, so that's Doku, and I'm going to take 2 minutes break, please. I'll be right back. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, back. Okay, so we just discussed Doku, and let's do, how about we do some gambling now? So let's do DraftKings, which I know is another one that we follow. So for DraftKings, we have some news yesterday. I don't really remember what the news was, but this is what put us on, put this one on the radar, right? So what we have is like apparently what it looks like a novice gap. They gap it down, and it was a fadeable gap right into support. This is a 45. That's why I pay so much attention to this one. I don't go by just this low, right? If I have like massive volume on that low, I'll probably use the low. But what we have is like this formation right here. So that formation is like buyers right here, right? They supported the price, they supported the 40, they supported the 42. So now they want to see it holding 44, 45. So this one, great trade if you did it yesterday, right? Gap it down right at support, came back up into the 50 MA, the 20 MA, I'm sorry. Is that? Yeah, that's the 20 MA. The 20 MA right there, 50, and that's where we're stopping so far. This is day 2. So what we really want for this one, if you're trading intraday and you get to see this one or notify the guys in the room that are trading live, if we go over the high of the day, 50.21, it is 50.11, 50.15, we can go and try and make it to 52.44. Now, the trade that I really want to be in is if we start going over, again, this is getting pretty simple, right? Over 56, that's what I want this trade. And then if we go over 55, 56, I want to see it testing probably the 64 level. So 54, 55, 55, 56, DKNG over 55, 56 for, I'll go 64 as a target one, right? As for now, it's just a second day play, simple second day play. If it triggers, if it doesn't, guess what? You can probably just start like going down and anything. But your entry will be, again, your entry for momentum is 50.21. So over 50.21, that's your entry for momentum, right? So that's DraftKings. And the other one that people like to follow is Penn National. And this one doesn't have anything. That looks like no catalyst so far yet. A couple days doing above average volume. Probably the monthly chart is going to tell us when to get long this one. Of notice, 50 MA about to cross under 200. So that's usually a bearish signal too. So let's skip this one. Like 73 for 57 doesn't sound too bad for me. So let's keep it. Also, we're in a squeeze. Now, when are we proven wrong is once we start going over 87, which is pretty simple, which is like all of these base right here. And then you have the 89. So let's call it over 90. Over 90, we start looking at this one for the long side, right? Be careful if we start breaking 73, 73.50. Okay, because that can drop, right? I know this is similar to some of the charts that I like, but the extension that this went like 142, we're down 50%. So that's off the high. So that's quite steep. I don't know what's going on in the company. So let's keep it right there. Another one. We already discussed Qualcomm last night. That's another one that I have on my check. Materials. I know they were in play. Sort of rotation, so they were in play a couple weeks ago. So X, some of the guys were looking at X. I don't know how to trade this one, but I want to bring the the fact that we just keeping an eye on those. If you want to go 26 by 30, that's a range, tradable range. So X 26 by 30, not really a momentum trade, but something that you could do if you know materials and you know rotation and you know that stuff that's going on with them. So CLF is the other one. This one I really like it. I've traded before. No, actually, the one I've traded before is FCX. So I'm gonna give you that. So this one's Cleveland Cliffs. Um, what's extending about this when you see X, yeah, you have the volume and everything, but this one, I think there was something going on with this one over the last week. You can see the volumes, you can see the volume spike. So we have a reference level, the 25, maybe for a momentum trade. So that stays right there, CLF over 25 for Momo. And then we got FCX, which is Freeport McMoran, right? And Freeport, what we have is, let me see the week, let me see the monthly. We have uh, support at 35, right? That was a big jump from yesterday. So people were willing to pay from yesterday again, from last year. So people, I'm so into the intraday mode. I think is the time. So I can only think about, yeah, that was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Last year was like yesterday. Yeah, it like never happened, right? So 11, 33, 33.82. So this is the level. This is daily volume control. I mean, daily volume control. Yes, sir. We had the massive volume yesterday. So something's up right here, and we can probably trade this one. 38, right? 38.19. Not crazy. 38, and we can see probably 40, which is 3 points, which is like 10% move. So watch the 38 FCX over 38.10. 38.20, guys. 38.20. 38.20, 40, 41. You just double check real quick right here. What else we have? I'm running out of ideas. So feed me. Oh, yep. I know what else we're missing. We're missing the Bitcoin trades that we called for the bounce, to play the bounce on Bitcoin. So for BTC, we follow a couple trades, right? We follow Riot. That's the one I prefer to follow. So for Riot, what we have is like we have the monthly. You see the pullback right here into the 20 something. Let me show you guys something, because I just did a chart on Bitcoin. So this is my chart on Bitcoin, right? We have the massive move, and this is the entry right in December, November, December. When we have this. I know we don't trade Bitcoin in here, but we can do some stuff with the riots and all the other related. Or if some of you guys have another account that you like to do that, this is basically the entry in the 1821s that was clear, technically clear. You have all the consolidation right here for years actually, and then you broke to new highs. This is a break, and then we were waiting for the new high, which is like right here. I think it was like, this is the 20,000 whatever, 2000, because these levels don't match exactly. So we just went all the way to, this is like about the 62 something, and then this is the news of Tesla dropping them, and then this is the news of China, with the mining. They're going to send all the minings to Texas apparently, whatever. So we have this massive drop right here, and when I run my FIBs, what I saw was like 61.8. So I said like, okay, are they doing FIBs now on Bitcoin? Apparently they did. So what we did is we played the riots and all, the Bitcoins and the Maras from here. So what do we go from here? Am I expecting a new high? Not anytime soon, because the pullback based with FIBs, we know it was too deep, right? If it was like a 30%, I'll be willing to probably take it. Like last time we took it for new highs or whatever. The pullback was a little bit too deep. So, but we can always look, to see it probably the GBTC, another 30% up, right? Which is like 39.40. And then we start like looking at that and taking trades and see what's going on. So the way we played this one was actually with the riot, right? This is a day Right at point of control, you see it right there, 24, and it was all the way out to 38. Okay, let that sink. 24 to 38. That's 50 or 60% move that we have right there. So that was for Riot. So this is one that you may want to follow if you're into those Bitcoins and everything. Look at the volume that we have on the day that we try to break right here, and look at the volume that we have right here on the following day. So let's look at Riot, and that's where I am, over 38. Target one should be 43 and 50. Okay, so Riot over 38 for 43 and 50. That's, I traded with Bitcoin. I don't know if I'm doing something bad or am I doing something wrong. It makes sense or anything. It's just probably it was just a coincidence. But I like those type of coincidence, right? So this is the same one, Omar, right? Why I choose the other one was because, you know, that one was a little bit better as far as the me being over the daily point of control. But this is exactly the same trade. So Mara, you can absolutely trade it on momentum over 32. So that's Mara over 32. Now we have some news over the weekend. You know what's going on. They bring it back down. So now we know that Mara 24 or Riot at that level is a good one, right? Coinbase, I don't really do it because I know it's more of a transaction. So I think they'll be affected if people, you know, I don't know how it works. Like you know, they don't hold that one. What's the other? There's another one. Movies, NVIS. Is that I don't know if Microvision has something to do with Bitcoin too. Not sure, but I'm gonna just because I know some of the guys were trading this one too. So MBIS, Microvision, um, we hit 25. We have a couple big days with volume about 50 million, and now we're just dropping on no volume, right? So for this type of trades, I don't know. That looks like Wall Street bets to me, type of move, right? Like out of the blue, just go. So we're at top of the range, and you know, like basic stuff, basic technical analysis. I don't like to be the guy buying the top of the range. So I'm not gonna be the guy buying 25s. I'll probably be the guy liquidating at 25. I'm gonna be the guy. I want to be the guy buying at 12. And ideally, you will agree with me in a perfect world. You're buying 12 and you're selling 25s, right? Anyways, so what do we do from here? We gotta take this level into account, right? The 18, that's where we broke. That's the 20 MA. So let's keep an eye on movies or Microvision. 1824 for 22, right? That's a range. 1824 for $22. Okay, let's move out of this sector and let's do some of the other things, new things that, you know, I don't usually follow that closely. This is space, and that's Virgin Galactic, and I know it's highly shorted name, I think it is. So you know the deal with that. I don't need to tell you, it's all over the news. So massive volume right here. Here's where we are, right? Could have been a good trade of the 2750 daily point of control. The same thing we saw with I don't remember the one that we just discussed. So go back a few minutes and you'll see exactly the same thing. Daily point of control, 50 MA, 200 MA, everything right there. You have the volume, you got to trade it, right? Then you have like 3 days to put that second trade over the high right there. Pretty easy, 28, you hit it, 35. Big gains. Now, what do we do from here? Because we're going forward. That's the only way we can make money, right? So what I want to see is I want to see a close over 38.63 with volume. That's my buy. That's where we have the alerts. You can see it right here, and it's probably yelling me like, get, you know, so I have two alerts, 38.34, 38.71. That's how I do it. Not that I know that it's going to move, but if you have your alerts and it's telling you, hey, we're hitting an alert, we're hitting an alert, space on my alerts, space on my alerts, space on my alerts, eventually you're going to be able to grab and get into the trade. So I want 38.50 for a momentum trade. That's all I can say, because the weekly is not showing me anything. So the only one that I'm trading right here is a daily trade. So it's going to be 38.54, 45. $38.50 for 45, and that space. And same thing, that like those things that I don't even know how to categorize them, but that I follow is Beyond Meat. Beyond Meat had some news. I don't know if it was hacked or they hacked the meat plant. So they try to make a fuss out of that. So they gap it up. It was a good day trade, and then another day. But you know this one. This one's hard to trade. So the real thing that I want to see in Beyond continues to be 157, a break over 157 for momentum, right? Ideally, we're going to get some catalyst saying that now Morton's is going to start selling, Beyond Meat hamburgers, something like that. And then, it might get interesting. So 157 for 168. Not big, but we have that volume right there. 168, we go 180. Target 2. So that's Beyond. Another one like that is, say, BNB, Airbnb. So for Airbnb, I think we're watching that one today, intraday. The guys trading this one are going to be watching. Why are we watching this one? Look at the monthly chart. So we have, this is not a recent IPO, but it's not that old either. So what we have is like, we basically back at IPO prices 151, went to 200 something, dropped. Looked like it put a bottom last month. So in here into the 516, 517, that reported earnings. What was the day? Let me see. On 513, that was earnings. So this is right here. The earnings, they try to break it. And look how important those levels are, guys. Like 129 right there. You don't anticipate the break. You just watch it. This tells you, I'm trapping you, and then the following day, and this is your entry. Beautiful entry for a reversal trade, right at daily point of control. After the earnings is beautiful. That's a strategy. Just gave you a strategy, guys. So comes back, right in here, top off, all of these that we have, right? All the volume, where we are, right there. That's where we are. So what I want is that ideally a close over the 50 MA, 155, to put us back into 163. So ABNB over 155 for 163. And then we go into, let me check my weekly. When is the weekly going to take over? So 158, 162, 174. Airbnb. What else we have? We got the MJs, right? We got Roku. We already did last night, and let's finish with the all risk, because I don't want to extend too much. I know this is gonna be a long one, but we coming into seasonality. By the way, guys, yeah, totally. That was probably Wall Street bet. So I'll play momentum on this one. Not interested in that one. 20 over 24. That's it. Tilray. And one last one. What is the missing? I know you guys play Etsy. So Etsy is on watch. Still remains a watch. It's taking its time. We have the move down on earnings. So what I want to see is like if these guys really buying it, or what is it they doing with that? Ideally we'll see a shakeout before we go higher. So over 180, Etsy is a good watch. Etsy over 180, and I think same cat will be Shop, and Shop is a good watch. Looks like it wants to break. We are at a 3 standard deviation high right there. I'd rather have a pullback into 1300 and trade it better. The better trade is like the base, and then we got the breakout right here. That was 1283, even 1299, not 1364. We're sort of 100 points too late for my liking, my stop of trade. my style of trade. So let me go into weekly. Probably I'm missing something, right? And this is what I was missing. Not really. 1288 was the entry, right? So we're now into momentum territory. So target one is 1500, but yeah, it should have been 1288 by 1500. That's the range. Just keep the range in mind, just in case we go back to the range or something. So chop for 1290, let's call it 1290, and then go 1500, right? Trade that range. It's a tradable range. Careful with the extension. Make sure where you are. Make sure you follow into your guidelines for your system, that you have rules, you have all of that. You know, remember guys, it's close to some seasonality kicking in with the markets, and you know, the 4th of July weekend, now the summer's kicking in, so we should see some tougher days coming forward. So stay with the whatever's moving. Look at the volume today already. It's like 25. It's just horrible. What's the volume today? And it's 11:53. So it's like half the morning, and we're doing 0.59 R bulb. So it's pretty much half of what we should be doing on a normal day. And this is like bad. So thank you guys for joining us. Make sure if you're interested on seeing how we called all this live, make sure you're into the Traders Hangout. Any questions, any doubts that you have about the systems, strategies, how we talk, please DM me, or Kyle or Mish can also be able to help you guys, and good luck. Okay, thank you so much.